Hello, families. I'm Cynthia from the VICON Method, and today we are going to talk about how to foster our child's language development. This is part of a webinar series that we are going to offer monthly. Um, they are going to be open to everybody because we are so willing to foster child's development that we are going to try and offer you tools monthly so that you can enrich your um, your child's stimulation. We do this not live, but you can see this every time you want, and you can rewatch it as long as it is available, so that you don't have to find some extra time to meet us, and you can just see it whenever you can in the way that is best for you. So, about the subject, we are going to talk about different ways our child's, or we are going to try and offer you some different ideas that are going to help you foster your child's development. Um, they are sort of different. The first three have to do with our child's development. This is very important because sometimes the ideas we have in our mind help us or prevent us to help our kids' development. So, one of the first ideas that is very important that we have in mind while helping our child's development is that development is not really an upward linear line that we are going to see our child development be sort of little by little going on a scale in a linear way. Actually, development in every aspect, but in language it's or communication is particularly so. It is a non linear process. As you see in the second image, sometimes you see some behaviors that looks like going backwards, but they are actually part of the process of integrating different areas, trying new things. So that is why going back is also every time, or being stuck also part of development. We also don't know and don't have an end up point. We have it there like a final uh, uh, place where we get, and sometimes we have our own, but we don't know which that final step would be for our child. So we should keep pushing, even though it doesn't look like it's moving forward. The second aspect of development we should take into account is that development it's not a one-sided thing, but it's a multiple layer. Um, I don't know. It is itself multiple in different ways. In two ways we are going to talk about today. So the first one is that the nuclear area of development, it's the actual development. It's the zone where you know how to do things. It's what you have already developed, and it's where you from the starting point, let's say. You cannot develop if you don't have some things you already know. Along at the side or circumscribing this, you have the zonal of proximal development. That zone actually is what you can, from what you already know, stretch yourself and learn with very little help from the others, right? So that is the area of actual development. It's not that we can decide. This is very important, and I'm going to stress that out because it's really, really important. We cannot decide what our child has to or is going to develop. We can help with some things, we can push, but our child is going to learn according to what he already knows. And also, this idea gives us the idea that um, the development, our stimulation, is not going to be about learning new things or um, jumping to a whole new different thing. Actually, what we need is to enrich and foster what they already know. So the sort of combination of things start to grow or be born from what they already know, and that takes them to that zone of proximal development. Because if we try to teach them new things or things that are out of their potential, you go into the zone of actually potential development, which is something that might come, but it's going to be in a later time. So as you see, development is more like an onion that you can peel, but there is always uh, another layer of development to be, let's say. And the third aspect of development, which I said that it was multiple, it's very important that we take into account that language and communication development has many layers, let's say. Um, you have the sound production that has to do with motor and movement and coordination of different motor skills. The communicational skills would have to do with more of the behavior and when to do things. The word production and also the relationship between words production, the sentence production, and the comprehension. So, and in every aspect we talked before, um, that those two things have to do with every of these aspects. So sometimes we can move forward in one of the aspects and the other don't move as fast. And we are not expected to have sort of a linear and congruent development in all of the aspects, and we don't need to expect that anyways. So, why am I telling you all this? Because the other thing, the other ability we parents or co therapists need to develop is our observational skill. Because when you have some concepts, we can have the same ideas, but the way we combine them or link them can actually help us move our kids forward or to get them stuck. So it is very important that we see and understand better the way they learn, the way they develop, what actually suits them better in their own development. And this is very important because those ideas that we have about our kid will help us create the best environment for them to develop, and so to sort of help them become apprentice. And that experience would also gives them the possibility of having that share experience of us understanding them and influence their behavior so that they can not only feel understood but also um, jump and change their behavior or learn new skill, which sometimes it's so very hard. So these are the basic ideas I wanted to share with you today. I hope you are finding them very important. And now I'm going to leave you an activity. Well, it's not actually an activity, it's a group of tips so that you can not only foster your child's language development, but also work on one of the most important communicational aspects of language development, which is the generational aspect, which is the intent to communicate and to make it in a way that comes from the child and not as a as a response to our stimulation or um, ask for some word or some action that has to do with communication. And that group of tips or activity, I'm calling it, but it's not really an activity, it's going to be called My Words Matter. That means that our words, the adult's word, matter. We are going to, throughout these tips, um, sort of improve and help them focus on the most important aspect of our communication or word pronunciation. So, the first aspect is conscious speech. With this, what we do is we speak at a speed as slow as needed, um, and making the pauses that are needed to increase the value of each word. And by this, we also make it easier for our little one to process that information. So we should pay a lot of attention to the feedback our child gives us about the speed and the time between words that works best for him or her. Um, and you should look if he's orienting towards you or responding in any way. See? So that's the first stress we do. The second aspect is we are going to call it balance. Um, it itself involves also two aspects. The first one is that we do not use more elements that our child uses, and if it is nonverbal, we should speak with only one word, or the words should be as short as possible, right? And also, we do not add another information or word until our child has provided a meaningful response to the word or set of words we have said. We especially recommend that you do not repeat yourself continuously or add more information, because that adds noise and makes it more difficult for them to process the information. So we should give them space to process. It's not that we do not have to repeat, but we need to make it in a way that allows them to um, process that information and respond. And if we don't see that, we should make some changes and adjustments so that it happens. So here in balance, the motto we could say is more is less, or less is more. Finally, the third aspect is highlight. With this, we use our tone, our speed, or our volume of our voice to highlight indirectly the words or parts of the communication that carries the most significant information. To do this, um, um, you have to watch um, what is the mean that actually wakes up or orients our child. So you have to use all that you know about him in this case. Then, the other thing, very important, we need to team up. What that means is that to sort of help our children perform this complex act, understanding and accompanying their development, our child's development, we adults must each contribute with our part, and we need to also be able to lay on other adults' shoulder to enrich and to strengthen up, um, and to do our best every time, because they need that from us. So, and this is one of the reasons why I have this very important role in the VICON method, which includes um, helping your child. We have therapist mentoring of parents, because we think that there needs to be some areas when parents can rest their worries or questions, and we sort of provide that support for them as a part of becoming a team. And also, we share information with other professionals that might be included, and that helps us move forward. So I'm going to leave you with this sentence, which I think it's our motto: there is no problem that that we cannot solve together, and very few that we can solve in ourselves. I hope this has been very, very helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can contact me throughout our platform, and I hope hearing from you soon. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great month.